Hey, my friend, are you a small business owner that loves God, family, country, and capitalism? If so, you're in the right place. This is the War Plan Briefing. My name is Joshua Latimer. If you don't know me, I'm a guy. I have 5 kids, married to my high school sweetheart, built and sold 4 companies. I don't have all the answers, but I've learned a whole bunch by screwing everything up, being bankrupt in my 20s to making millions of dollars on the internet and with local companies and everything. And I hope to pass some wisdom to you through my own suffering so you don't have to suffer. The Bible says a wise man has many counselors. Maybe I can be one of your YouTube counselors to help you not fall in a pit, okay? Right now, we're going to talk about 6 ideas to generate cash fast if you have a local service company, right? This probably applies to like lots of other industries, but kind of my core heart goes for local service people because that's me. I started with a squeegee in my hand 20 years ago, cleaning windows for people. My mom said, Josh, that's what homeless people do. I said, I know, Mom, but I'm going to make it work. And I did somehow, right? But it was really hard. So if you want revenue and you're in a pinch, how can you use your brain to manufacture it? What are things you can do just through networking, through conversation, through using a little bit of charisma and some creative thinking to literally create money for yourself? There's way more than you think. And I want to start off with a story. I actually, after I sold my cleaning business, built it up, sold it, I moved to Costa Rica and I launched a software company called Send Gym. It's a weird name. Don't judge me. It's an amazing software, automates your direct mail. You should totally all go buy it and give me all your money. But that's beside the point. Send Gym is a tool. And I knew that when I was going to launch this and promote it and roll it out, I knew that no one knew who I was. And if they did, they wouldn't care. And who would buy this? I hadn't figured out how to sell it. I just knew it was a really great tool. So what did I do? What did I do? Did I spend $100,000 on Facebook ads? No, I didn't. What I did was I got on an airplane and I flew to New Jersey and I introduced myself to a guy named Chris Lamborghinis. Now, at the time, this is like 2012, probably somewhere around maybe 20, it's like 10 years ago, something like that. I go meet Chris. He didn't know me from Adam at all, but I told him, I said, I want to fly to your business and I'm going to use my software to send direct mail for you. I'm going to pay for it. You get to keep all the money, and I'm going to show you how my tool is totally different than anything else. There's no strings attached. You just let me send direct mail for free for you, and you'll see how many calls you get. It's crazy. And he got massive amounts of calls. He booked like $20,000 worth of work. I just drove around on our app one day and took pictures and sent mail out to these certain houses. The point is, though, is that what I did was I leveraged or sought out a joint venture partnership with Chris. And this guy literally launched the entire company. He put me on the cover of like the window cleaning magazine that he had, which thousands of people saw. He put me at the top of his forum, which there's tens of thousands of people in the forum. He started edifying it, right? He partnered with us in a formal capacity because he was so blown away with the product. Well, local business owners forget to do stuff like that. We think the answer to our problem is giving Home Advisor more money or something. It's like not, right? And we already don't like those companies anyway, right? So what do? Well, there's 6 ideas here that literally will make you money. The first one is joint ventures. Joint ventures. Now, I don't care what kind of business you have. There are people in your town, walking distance from you practically, that can literally create hundreds of thousands in revenue for you if they just had a real relationship with you. This isn't hard. This isn't rocket science. You know, the way you can joint venture, there's 100 ways, but one of the ways you can do it is you can split the cost on direct mail. It's a good way to start a relationship with a non-competing service provider. So if you're the carpet cleaner and you meet the pressure cleaner and your companies are similar size, why don't we do a joint venture campaign? Why people aren't doing this all the time breaks my brain because it makes sense. It halves the cost of the media that you're buying, and it builds a relationship with a non-competing business owner. And the relationship's worth more than the direct mail campaign, by the way. And another way you can do it is just with official partnerships. You can have actual agreements where part of their process is introducing their customer to your stuff, and part of your process is introducing your customer to their stuff. This is not complicated, right? But we got to get organized with it. So what I recommend people do is create a Dream 100 list, okay? Dream 100 list is a fancy way of saying a spreadsheet with a name of all the people that you want to be best friends with so you can do cool joint venture marketing stuff with, right? Like, who's the pressure cleaning guy? Who's the maid service guy? Who's the irrigation guy? Who's the landscaping guy? Who's the retaining wall guy? Who's the contractor, the gutter guy, the roofer? Who's the seal coating guy? I can do this all day. There's like 50 just home service businesses. You have pool care people. You have irrigation people. Did I already say irrigation people? You have lawn care. Did I already say lawn care? I don't know. It's all mushed together now. But there's all these people that have the same problem that you have. They need more phone calls and they need more customers, right? And you can work together. This is like not hard. The next thing you can do are called swaps. Swaps, don't think of it as a long-term thing, think of it as a short-term thing. You can go to these other types of companies and you swap out stuff. Here's one that crushes it that most people are too nervous to do for some reason. You do interview swaps. So you probably have like a Facebook account and there's local people that follow your Facebook account, I'm assuming, right? If you don't, start having all of your customers follow your personal Facebook profile, not just your business page. You can do the business page, but if they follow your personal, you're going to get way more referrals. You're going to get a bigger yield. Now, this is assuming that your personal Facebook profile doesn't have a bunch of like hardcore political stuff on it and pictures of you smoking weed by the pool and being a moron. But if you curate that page and it makes you look like this warm, fuzzy expert, that's great. That's what we want. And then you interview the top realtor in your town. What are the top 8 things homeowners need to know about the market right now and what to do if they want to sell their house or buy a house? You interview them. Your local audience sees it. That generates value for her. She might get a listing or 2 or an appointment, right? Then she's going to interview you. You swap. She interviews you. You interview her. She's going to ask you, what are the 8 things people need to know about carpet and all the bacteria and how we're all going to get Ebola AIDS and die if we don't clean our carpet? I'm just saying, is Ebola AIDS a thing? I think it lives in carpet. Yeah. It's real. No, it's not real. But the point is you swap interviews. That's what you do. It doesn't have to stop there. You also can swap thank you pages. So depending on how your website is set up, people might request an estimate from you, which is super awesome. They're like, my name is Mary. I live on Main Street. I want a price. Submit. Well, when they click submit, what page do they land on? They land on what's called a thank you page. Like, thank you. Your estimate request has been received. Like, that's what it says, right? Well, why doesn't it have the info to the realtor? Or why doesn't it have the info to the carpet, to the pressure cleaner, right? You need to do that. They do it for you. That's a thank you page swap. Because if they're getting 23 or 50 or 62 submissions a month, these people are like ready to buy, invest in their home. And then they're like, oh, here's a special deal because you just got an estimate from us. Get an estimate from these guys about this other thing. And they convert really good and they're free. It's freaking free. And you can swap that. You can also swap leave behinds, meaning you have like a pamphlet or a brochure or something created. Their technicians leave it at their customer's house. They give you theirs. Your technicians leave theirs at your customer's house. And it's just a swap, right? You have a meeting every couple of weeks for 15 minutes and you just keep joint venturing together. The other thing that people miss when it comes to making money quickly is how valuable influential people are. You know, people talk about customer acquisition cost with a small business, but no one talks about influencer acquisition cost. You know, it's one thing to spend $200, you get a customer, they pay you $1,000. Maybe that makes sense for you, maybe it doesn't. But it's another thing to spend $1,000 to get a relationship with a couple people that can create $50,000 worth of work for you, right? Like, not all relationships are created equal. These influencers, or sometimes I call them doorways, they're doorways. It's not one customer, it's a doorway to 50 customers or 100 customers or 12 customers. We need to have a strategy through this Dream 100 list. Like, who are these people? How do I get in front of them? How do I have a relationship with them? Can I give them free services? Can I like just be a cool dude to the president of the HOA and maybe he'll let me leave yard signs in his yard for free? Maybe he'll give me a shout out on the HOA newsletter. These are influencers. Will we invest time, money, effort, and energy into these relationships? The answer is I always do. That's how I start. I want to know, like, who already has the people I need? How can I do something for them so that they can help me? How do we make 1 + 1 = 3? You can do this with local businesses. It's not a big deal. You just got to think of it like that. Another tip, so we're on tip number 4 now, just to recap. You have joint ventures like swapping direct mail. Then you have swaps, like interview swaps, thank you page swaps, things like that. Then you have influencers, getting a list, building a relationship with it, serving them, and seeing what happens with that. Number 4 is shock and awe marketing. Most smaller companies, when they market really quiet, or they market at the wrong time of year. But let's say that you're not marketing quiet and you're marketing at the right time of year, but it's still not working like you want it to. One of the reasons why is because you're hitting people through one channel with one touch, and it doesn't work very well. So, for example, EDDM is a really popular direct mail option for local businesses. And you'll send out your EDDM postcards, you'll hit a neighborhood, you're all excited, it's sunny out, and your phone barely rings, and you're like, that sucks. I just spent 10 grand on this thing, and I've made back 2 grand or something. What we can do to correct that is understand shock and awe marketing. When you do any marketing, remember, marketing is not an event, it's a series of events. It is a culmination of multiple things converging together. You never want your direct mail piece to hit the neighborhood and that's it. At a minimum, you're going to have it hit and then a week later hit and then a week later hit and then probably a week later hit. I'd rather have 5,000 people get hit with a piece 5 times than have 25,000 get hit with a piece 1 time. That's just like, duh. That's how it works with direct mail. But in addition to that, we need another boots on the ground strategy to couple with it. So imagine the first 5,000 mailer hits, and then 24 to 48 hours after that, the whole neighborhood is canvassed with a door hanger, right? Or you drop off yard signs to all of your customers that are already in that area, or you have a geofenced Facebook ad dropped over that same neighborhood, like a net, with the same offer on that. When you do this, it's very common for it to 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 or 5x the amount of phone calls that you generate. And it doesn't cost that much more money. It's just more choreography, right? Like you're going to do this anyway. Let's do this right after and this right after, right? And one more little thing with past customer, you do that and it's like farming. I mean, you're pulling out the crop. You're getting a harvest from that. Most people don't do that. Idea number 5 is to create a high ticket package. If you need cash in a pinch, if you want to make money quickly, you can do this tomorrow and create it today. You can create the package today, sell it tomorrow. Something expensive needs to be for sale for your company. Something premium, something higher ticket. What do they get? I don't know. It depends on your service, but here's some ideas. Sell speed, get people to the front of the line, provide all kinds of concierge luxury VIP things, bundle in some sort of maintenance plan that gives them more peace of mind. So maybe you just do the basic thing for everybody else, but for the people that pay twice as much, they get that. Plus you check on something every quarter, or you do some other service, or you whatever. It doesn't matter. It needs to exist, and most service companies don't have that high ticket package. When you're presenting a price to a customer and the most expensive thing you sell is $1,000, I need something else to exist that costs $5,000. And most people won't buy it, but some people will. It'll raise your close rate on the $1,000 things, and you'll be pleasantly surprised how many people buy the $5,000. Some people just are programmed to buy the most expensive thing. They don't want the middle thing. They want the best thing. They're obsessed, right? And there's lots of affluent people that are like that. You just don't understand because you falsely believe that you are your customer. You're not your customer. They're probably richer than you. They're probably older than you. They probably think completely different than you. And, just as a quick aside, making more money doesn't mean you have to do a bunch of complex things. Sometimes it's as simple as changing who you're selling to. You can provide value and get paid $1. You can provide the same thing to someone else, but it's worth $10 to this person for a variety of different reasons, right? So like for me as a consultant, when I started doing actual consulting, I felt weird charging like $10,000 to do that. But what I realized was, the information that I have and the way that I can look inside of a company and find money real fast, right? That's really valuable. Now, if I'm helping a $500,000 business, it's really valuable to an extent because they only have a $500,000 business. And so maybe I make them an extra couple $100,000, right, in revenue, and maybe that lets them net another $40,000 in profit. Well, if I charge $10,000 and they net $40,000, that's a pretty good deal. But what if I told the same advice, but I moved it over to a $5 million company? And the same things, the same concepts and philosophies and principles that I'm using here, I use them here, and it creates $2 million in value. So that's why I charge up to $100,000 just to talk and consult with companies now, because I changed kind of who I do it for. So it's larger companies most of the time, which demands a higher ticket. You can do that with your stuff. If you have complaining customers that stand over your shoulder, you don't have to give up. You just have to fire your customers and get different ones. So something to think about. And then last but not least, a way to generate cash in a pinch is to consider pre-selling a seasonal offer, a seasonal campaign. So maybe you're a service company and you do Christmas lights in the winter, right? Or maybe you do snow plowing in the winter. And maybe you need money and it's August or September, it's in the summer. What we want to do is we want to think through what future campaigns and offers are we going to have that our customers are going to want. And how do we sell it to them right now? Now, what I'm not saying is, rob Peter to pay Paul, meaning just sell all this money and then you just spend it and then you have to go deliver on the work. That's not the point of this. The point is it can generate cash flow for you, but you can take deposits for stuff. And there's massive benefits of taking deposits for future things. One of the benefits is you get the money right now. But the big benefit is it creates what's called a captive customer, right? So if it's like May and you're doing service and you get a deposit for Christmas lights, okay? That is such a big deal because not only did you get a deposit, more importantly, when they're getting 15 quotes from other Christmas lights people, in their brain, they already solved that problem. It takes them out of the market. They're not like shopping around for that because they solved it. And you're going to follow up and they're already on the schedule and it's already figured out and it's already sold. And you can take a deposit, you can charge however you want for it, but it's a way to generate cash, but also keep people from shopping around. I think it's amazing. People don't do it enough. And most of these things, they don't cost any money, right? It just takes creative thinking, which I think is pretty freaking cool. Look, I hope that was helpful to you. We went a little nerdy, but that's okay. I like going nerdy sometimes. If you have a thought or a comment or a suggestion, please let me know. Type it in the comment, and I will reply to it personally and listen to it, like genuinely. Like constructive criticism is super appreciated. I love you. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you watched, click the video on the left to watch the previous upload. And if you want one of my personal favorites, click the video on the right. And of course, don't forget to hit the middle to subscribe so you never miss an upload. Thank you again for being on this journey with me.